Oh, I think he hit the nail on the head myself.
Yeah, leave Paul alone. He speaks the truth. That's what we need more of. People speaking the truth instead of hiding.
Amen. Okay, let's see here. Ron, I guess you have a list. And I need to write it down here to see who is here to participate tonight. W6YEC.
Okay, George, yeah, and I agree on the other. 101,000%. Politics. And all the other bureaucrats, throw them in with them. Okay, here's the list. K6CJA, in Hesperia. K6CJA. And then you can put me in there, KD6VWS. And then we have KM6QQU, Mike. KM6QQU. Then we have KK6IRZ, Jeff. KK6IRZ. And we've got Paul. N6BZY. N6BZY. And we have Phil. N6WHK. Phil. N6WHK. And we have Kevin. WA6JKN. WA6JKN. Then we have Skip. K6LGL. K6LGL. Skip. Then we have Larry. KN6IYC. KN6IYC. And then we have Steve. KF6SYD. KF6SYD. Steve, and that's the listeners I have up there, George. Let me know how this DX100 sounds like. W6YEC, KD6VWS.
Yeah, that's what I thought I was going to ask you, if you were in the DX100. Sounds good. Yeah, doing beautiful. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate it so very much. And anybody else that's been sitting there, let me get you down right now, and we'll get going here with the preamble and see how the evening turns out. W6YEC. Right, I don't hear anything, so we'll start the preamble. And the signals I've heard have been very, very nice, so I think we're going to have a good net tonight. Let me adjust this mic just a little bit. There we go. All right. Well, QST, welcome to the Monday night Amplitude Modulation International Net, or simply AMI. The purpose of this net is to promote the restoration, preservation, and enjoyment of AM equipment, including transmitters, receivers, and associated vintage AM-type gear. Anyone using AM equipment is welcome, including modern radios capable of creating two sidebands and a carrier. We also welcome all listeners. You do not need to be a member to join this net. However, as a member of AMI, you'll receive a certificate that has on it your personal ID number. And if you'd like membership, you can go to our AMI website, www.amiinternational.club, and fill out the membership form and pay the $5 fee. And you can also mail your fee and application, as it were, to John McGrath, N9AMI, and his address is P.O. Box 1422, Silver Springs, Nevada, a zipper of 89429. John is also good on QRZ.com. And I think he's gone for a little while. I think he's in Florida there, if I'm not mistaken. Your AMI net control tonight is George, and my call is W6YEC, and my AMI number is 1197. My QTH is Lemon Grove, down near San Diego, and the equipment I am running is the Viking Ranger 2. That's using an AKG microphone and a Behringer on the front end, and it's driving a Heathkit Sugarbaker 220. Got about 350 watts of power, something like that, carrier. And then I have a Hammerlin HQ 110 Alpha that really matches up nicely to the Ranger. And with it I have a Glomus amplifier, kind of homebrewed now. I've taken a perfect Glomus only first, but it's a nice little monaural amplifier, a pair of 6V6s tied into the audio circuit, and that's driving a big, very nice PM23 speaker. And so this is one of our favorite stations. I was going to turn on a new radio I picked up, new to me, 7300, and we've been having fun with it, getting it up and running, and it seems to be doing pretty good on AM. I was on 10 meter AM with it, had a very, very nice contact to it. A fellow over in Montana for, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes. It was beautiful. Anyway, with that being said, the West Coast website is www.westcoastami.com. Pictures and all kinds of other information there. Okay, well, the normal procedure will continue tonight. When I call on you, please share your call, your name, make and model of your equipment, and if you have any buy or sell items, please list them at that time. Let me know if you want to stay for the informal roundtable immediately following this net. Sounds like we've got a pretty good band. And so right now, let's do our traditional tune-up by Zero Beating Net Control, who is crystal controlled, and we'll take 1 minute or less for a tune-up. Be sure to give your call sometime during the key down period. So tune those finals, W6YEC.
Well, that's not good. You make it stop. Turn it off. KM success fighting.
Yay! Kilo 6.
And 6 little green lights.
Okay, there you have it for another Monday night. The tune-up with one heterodyne piled on top of another. Let me give up one more shout out. Anybody else that's been just came in and would like to get on the list tonight? W6YEC.
W7LTG.
W7LTG. So, yes. Okay, got it. Anybody else? Okay. We will see what happens as we go along here. Okie dokie. Ken, take your transmission and then give it over to Ron. Ron, give it to Mike, and then Mike, give it back to me if you would. W6YEC.
Okay, George, W6YEC, and the good group, Kilo 6 Charlie Juliet Alpha. All right, let's see, we're on the same transmitter, I had it on warming up to warm the room up. A pair of 813s modulated by 811As, pair of 811As, Class B of course. 400 watts even out the board. Now the receiver now is Hamlin HK170A because everything else is busted. AMI number I think is 993. And it's warming up in the back room. I had the electric heater going behind me, but that's on the regular line. Now on the swap and on the round table, I will listen. K6CJA over to VWS, I guess. All right, Ken. K6CJA, K86VWS. Ron here in Joshua Tree. We're running the DX100 tonight, and 105 watt carrier, and I'm feeding it with Turner +3 microphone turned up all the way, going into a Swanboat Carlson mixer preamp, turned up all the way, and that's going into the DX100, and that's feeding a chip. I think it's an LM1140 or something like that chip. It's a power chip that's capable of about 65 watts power, but it's fed with a lot lower voltage. So, but that's feeding the grids of the 811As that are modulating the ART13 modulation transformer. So, kind of a bizarre setup. It's the one I got from Bully, the DX100. I forget that guy's call that passed away that did all this, KA1, K something, but got it from Bully. And so anyway, well, all that, I'm receiving on the NC125, and a few multipliers kicked out, so I can hear everybody's audio for fidelity, and yeah, I copied Francesca in there. So anyway, and that's all feeding the SA2040 antenna tuner heat kit, and the W4 Drake watt meter, and all that's going up to the infrared long wire that's up about 25 feet. It's about 5/8 wave long on this frequency, and quarter wave counterpoise laying on the ground underneath of it, and no on the swap of the round table, but I will be listening through. So with that, let me, an AMI number 1671, and over to you, Mike, KM6QQU, K6VWS. All right, thanks, Ron, K6VWS, this is KM6QQU, Mike out of Yucca Valley. AMI number is 1768. And we are on the ART13 with the D104 amplified microphone. Receiving on the BC348Q model with my signature tone, the dynamotor in the background. Full wave loop antenna being tuned in by the SA2060A antenna tuner. No on the round table, no on the swap. I'm going to be shutting it down right now. I got to go take my son to his kickboxing class. So back over to you there, George. Good hearing you out there. W6YEC, this is KM6QQU.
Okay, you're a good dad. Get that boy to that kickboxing class. Yeah, your dynamotor's coming through nice and clear in the background there with that amplified microphone. Anyway, very good, loud signal. Good copy. And of course, Ken always sounding good. And HQ170A, wow. That's kind of when I got back into AM, that's when I started with a Ranger at HQ170. That's old display before I was looking for a 110 but a 170 was out there available, so that's what I took and needed repair, and got it going, and served me until I moved things on. So John F.E. has that W6FE. I picked that up many years ago. That Ranger 170. All right, Ken and Ron sounding good. The DX100's doing a great job. Yeah, I can't remember who that was that really got that from, but I remember when you got it and all the work you were doing on it. So congratulations. All right, it's nice to have Jeff back with us and been around. So Jeff, take your transmission. Why don't you pass it to my neighbor, M6BZY, and then Paul, pass it over to Phil. Phil, give it back to me if you would. KK6IRZ and new ham shack, W6YU.
Well, a new ham shack in the works. All the main structure built, but now all the details take a lifetime. Oh my God. Which is why I'm still using the homemade dynamic mic that you're listening to into a modified Icom 735 that was modified for AM, so hopefully it passes the snuff test okay. And that's going into a SD200 that goes to a link-coupled, balanced, symmetrical antenna system tuner that has open wire line connected to it going up to flat tops at 128 feet in an inverted V configuration, so that I don't have to worry about the problems of coax. Indeed. And I'm not going to talk about that technical question that Kevin threw out there. Well, it's my turn. So that's what I'm running here anyway. My AMI number is a fresh one. It's a new one. 1809. Thanks to John's easy website for getting my number and having my certificate sent to me, so that was nice. I don't have anything to sell, but I did want to say though, you know, Ron, I would love to hear more about that DX100, because that sounds to me like a FET-driven basically line level in FET-driven 811 DX100 from the East Coast. I may have had my hands in that radio. Did you say it was coming from the East Coast? You can say that later, but I'm very curious now. It would be relatively funny to all of a sudden come across it out here. Because there were a few built over on the East Coast. Bob ZM, I think, had one, and we also built another one for another guy, but I forget who it was. So it would be funny if that turned out to be the way. You kept saying it was a one station, so maybe it's from the East Coast. But in any case, we can find that out later on. I'll hang for the swap a little, I guess, for the round table afterwards. But as I say, nothing for sale or swap. So let me send it over to you, Paul, the Hey You guy. Sounding very good, sounding strong as always. And 6BZY with the group. This is KK6IRZ.
Okay, very good. KK6IRZ. M6BZY. AKA, whatchamacallit. As Ken put it, and that's okay, I will respond to that. Okay, well I have a DX100 sitting here, but mine is the, it has most of the stock stuff in it, however it does have the audio modification in it. And I do have control over the audio gain. The first stage, or second stage, I forget how they do that. Anyway, it works nicely, and haven't used it in a while. I have it sitting on 40 meters.
And let's see. I won't go any further on the politics. I think everybody is thoroughly dissatisfied and disgusted with the whole work, so no sense in pouring gasoline on a burning fire. Anyway, Antelope Park, UTH Lemon Grove, just east of San Diego and just southeast of George, about a mile and a half, something like that. AMR number 278, running the usual thing here, the Super Senior 8040 model, the modified D104 microphone, and then that feeds to a Dentron Super Tuner, to an inverted V at 35 feet, and we're running about 325 watts of carrier. And we're receiving on the National MC300. Let's see, as far as the slap on a few items, but no big rush. I do have an antenna analyzer, an antenna tuner, dummy load, and a couple of power supplies and stuff like that. So if you have some particular need for something, let me know. I might have it. And nothing for the round table, because I need to shut up, because all I'm doing is irritating my already irritated throat and larynx. So with that, it goes over to Phil, I do believe. I think he was next in line. Been 6WHK in the group, and 6BZ and a lavish Y. Going that away.
And 6BZY. Go rest your voice. Get a little honey and lemon or something for it. It might help a little bit. I doubt it, but it never helped me, but I always tried it. I've heard of other things to drink, too, to help your voice, but I'm not a drinker, so they wouldn't satisfy me. Anyway, we're running a new equipment tonight. AMI number is 1661. Johnson Viking Ranger, Hammerlin H21 4B, approximately 200 watts, plus or minus a watt or two. Johnson Matchbox, just to keep that wattage in control. D104, about 235 feet of wire in a crazy shaped lock. SB 610 to keep the pattern where it's supposed to be, and it looks like it's looking pretty good, so I hope it is. I'll take no comments as it isn't. It's all my fault. With that, I'll turn it over to George, my neighbor. I won't be here for the round table. I will be listening through. So, over to you there, George. W6YET and 6WHK.
Okay, Phil, very good. Great copy on all three of you. Beautiful signals. Thank you for the 1809 there, Jeff. Congratulations on that. Two things. One, let me take a quick call and see if anybody else has shown up that wants to get on the list. Come now, W6YEC. Okay. I didn't hear anything. I don't think there is any need for a relay, so... real quickly, Ron, would you like to give Jeff an answer to the question that he was proposing about the DX100? I'd like to know, too.
Yeah, okay, what's it, I think, his suffix, it was KA1, and I think his suffix is the same as that station 1070, Norway, that news station. I think his suffix was the same as that station's call sign. Yeah, he was from up there in New England, and so I'm sitting here trying to remember that suffix, and I can't recall it. The person that knows him is K6IC. Well, he passed away. I don't know. 3 or 4 years ago that this guy that this transmitter came from, and I think he booked it. There's no original equipment. There's nothing original. The speech amp, the modulator was completely stripped out. So this is, and the mic jack is just goes directly into that power chip that feeds the 811 grids. So, and I think I'm thinking about the 1070 news station. I think that was KLM1's suffix. Over.
Yeah, you're talking about KNX?
KNX, yeah. Yeah, K1 KNX.
Yeah, I remember him. Huh. Okay. Well, that's interesting. All right. Well, without further delay, let's give it to Kevin, WA6JKN, and Kevin, and turn it over to Skip, K6LGL, and then Skip, bring it back down here to Larry, if you would, KN6IYC, and Larry, go ahead and give it back to me. Right, Kevin, WA6JKN, W6YEC.
Okay, George, thank you very much. W6YEC in the group, W6JKN. Very good. Good signals. I'm copying just fine. Everybody's doing very, very well. Very well. And let me say it again, Ron, the DX100 Benton Harbor kilowatt sounds great. Good job on that. And of course, Ken's 813s modulated by 811s. Well, that's always been my favorite, Ken. Always hearing the old 813s. Let's see, Paul, good to say to everybody. Steve, everybody I've heard. WHK, Phil, just blasting in here, Phil. Very, very strong. Let's see, yeah, the question related to the coax length was came about because I had replaced a piece of coax here with semi-hardline, low loss in the HF region. It's mainly made for UHF. I use UHF cable, and just stuff I had left over from my satellite antennas and stuff. Well, anyway, here's what I noticed. I noticed that my antenna analyzer was showing that I was measuring my hex beam. My hex beam was showing low SWR, but yet the impedance was around 30 ohms. And under normal conditions with a tube amp, you wouldn't notice that too much. But with a solid state amp, you'll notice that the output will actually go down because the output affects the input with those low pass filters. So the Mercury amp, the power went down. I was still able to get full legal limit because it's a 2800 watt amplifier. Yeah, it's a 2800 watt amplifier. And so there was no problem getting the full kilowatt, but I just thought it was strange that it took a more drive on the amplifier with that 30 ohm impedance. So I started thinking about coax length, and Steve kind of got it right, but Ron nailed it. It's the quarter wavelength that you want to avoid in odd multiples thereof, because it changes the common mode. Well, that's an effect, but it changes the impedance, and you got to go through all this math to get to this conclusion. But you got to know the frequency you're on, the length of coax, and the the velocity of the coax that you're using, and so on and so forth, and multiply it by the 300 magic number, and you come up with the answer. So I did that, and I says, okay, I'm not really sure what the total length is of by adding that new piece of coax in, because it was longer. No, correction. I shortened it. That's what I did. I shortened it. And so everything was fine and dandy, so I said, okay, quarter wavelength is the magic number, and avoid odd intervals from that, multiples of the quarter wave. So I said, okay, all I have to do, based on the highest frequency that I was going to operate, and then I measured it at the middle frequency range of the hex beam, and then I measured it again at the lowest frequency, which was 20 meters, and I came up with about 3 feet. So I said, okay, if I add 3 feet of coax, it should solve the problem. And by golly, mathematics worked, and it solved the problem. Well, it wasn't really a problem, but now my amplifier is back where it's happy. In other words, very little drive to get 2,800 watts out. So that's the reason why I did it. I may not fully understand all aspects of it, but that's certainly what happened. Okay, who does it go to? Skip, over to you, sir. K6LGL, WA6JKN.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. WA6JKN. San Diego, Monday, AMI net, K6 little green lights, Skip in Santa Monica. Just a couple of comments. You may have a slight defect in your throat, Paul, but the audio modulation, I've never heard you sound better. Beautiful, long, mid-range, and sounding audio. It just sounds great. However, it doesn't mean that you feel very good. And I think the rig that you're running, Ron, I talked to Steve, WA1KNX, Silent T, when he was still staying in Arizona, and I talked to him on that. It was 3-4 years ago, somewhere that time, it hasn't been very recent. And he talked about that. There's several modification versions of that, so that's where you probably got it, Jeff. Yeah, that's KNX, that's a version of it. There are other people made modifications. Well, there's room in the chassis, and you could change the socket, to 4 pins, so stick in 811s, they'll fit there, and you can get some modulation transformer mounted in there, and then it gives an external power supply, get it up around 1500 volts or so, and you could do all kinds of things. I always thought that the one reason modification should be a couple of 4D32s, a pair of those, would work out fairly well at the current voltage, and it should be good for about 200 watts output. And modulation, then 811s with that, the 1625 would be short on audio with that, but you could still probably go, you can do 120 watts of audio if you're really pushing hard. Okay, just skipping Santa Monica, I'm on the Benton Harbor former kilowatt, or I call it. It's not heavy metal, it's light metal. Somewhat modified, 104 microphone. Several is a state-of-the-art SDR right now, although else I have a Elmac PMR8 going in the background, and the HD170A. About 170A. The 170 was not so hot because of that rectifier. It ran very hot. But the 170 had the open top where you could either switch tubes, whatever. But the National battery runs cool. And the RC networks for the filters produce pretty decent sounding audio. It sounds better than some of the except the very broad mechanical filters. 9kc, 10kc filter sounds okay. But then, 5, 6, 7kcs, I think the 1.7 will produce better quality audio on AM. All right, enough of that. So over next to KN6 IYC, over to you, Larry. And just a quick antennas. Why World War II surgery was so popular, all quarter wave antennas are generally below 50 ohms somewhere. So a lot of the guys who are using coax to feed that. And then the dipole is still relatively, it's probably under 100 ohms, somewhere around it. You could use the 99 or a 300 ohm line for a folder dipole, and that's what's with a durable trim. But even then, by the time you get a full wavelength, you're talking about having things, and you need some kind of transformation in order to do that. Okay, over to you there, Larry. KN6IYC, G6 Little Green Light, Santa Monica, Boulder Bay.
All right, thank you. I came from the LPN, 6 IYC. Signal is kind of awesome. Actually, everybody's I have the other device, everybody, and it's got a pretty, pretty low noise level, Well, this is IYC, Larry, and I'm using a Christian telephone, still classic. California. And it's chilly. And we have 40 pictures, and I just stopped around the drafting garage, and we're like, okay, we got a heater on the desk, and anyway, my AMI number, 18. Operating position here. Got the Rivet stepchild radio here. I've got the speaking MC Humpy Desk Drive and reference here 488. And normally mobile receiver, but transceivers and anyway, that's running over to the LDG AT200 Pro auto tuner. And with a simple coax. Going out up 25 feet to a 1-to-1 with two sections each of about 60 foot of wire. No on the shop and no on the round table. I guess that's it. So, anyway, great couple days. We'll try to catch up with you next week. So, George, what do you think the line is? Yeah, coming to you down the hill from Chris.
Okay, I caught it. I got it. Thanks for rolling it back. Hey, Kevin, were you staying or not? I'm sorry. If you said it, I missed it, and so let me get that right now.
Are you talking about staying for the round table? If that's the answer, or the answer you were looking for, no, I think I'm just going to go ahead and bow out of the round table, and I don't have any wants or swamp items, over.
Okay, got it. How about you, Skip?
Only if there's somebody to talk to, go ahead.
Yeah, Jeff's in here. Okay, I thought I asked by your name. Very good. Thank you, guys, all three of you. Nice transmissions. A little bit of hum on your DX100 there. I'm not sure what it is, but it's kind of pronounced, but really too fine. And let's see, one more shout out. Anybody else that wants to get on the list right now? W6YEC.
And they sold our rates.
Gotcha, Bob. Anybody else? All right. How about Steve? Your turn. And think your antenna's working pretty good for you. Nice signal. And why don't you turn it over to Francesca, and Francesca turns it to Bob, NA7R8. I don't know if you'll hear each other or not, but perhaps you will. And then Bob, back to me. And we'll wrap it up for the evening here. Go ahead, Steve. KF6SYD, W6YC.
All right, George. Thanks for running the net. KF6SYD, Stephen Long Beach, AMI 1708. CCA, AM 1000D transmitter. AKG microphone. Goes through some Behringer stuff and this other gizmo I got. Limiter thingy. Then 70 feet of wire to the transmitter. 100 feet of coax back up here to the tuner. And I don't know how much wiggle line there is. Goes up to the apex of the inverted V at 70 feet. And what's going on exciting around here? I don't know if it's exciting to you guys, but it was exciting to me to have down at work where I don't have much of it anymore. I got a little bit of it left, a little building down there that's still mine. There's no water when you turn on the faucet. Well, the city came out this morning and they took the meter out, and there's no water there either. It's their problem. I don't have to do any plumbing. I was like, yes. So they're gonna dig a ditch out in the street and replace all the lines in the street so I can have water and I don't have to do any work. I thought I was just thrilled. So that was not too interesting, but the most thrilling thing for me today. And let's see what else is exciting. Silly. Okay, I'm back to, well, not back to, but for the first time I'm using regular pencils here instead of, wood, Dixon Ticonderoga. I've got the pencil sharpener here that used to be in the office down there before I closed the place. So, there, see, it's nice and sharp now. I always wanted to do that, so that's the silly things that are going on. And George, you inspired me. My T4XB is on the workbench. It's upside down. I've got my new to me ICO signal tracer that everything works perfect on it. I got it on eBay. I got lucky and everything works perfect on it. And I am going to find out where the audio distortion occurs and fix it. I messed up the audio. I overdrove it or something. I'm at the first tube and I had to knock off. I'm hoping the distortion will be there and I'll find whatever little doodad is bad and fix it. Or maybe it's the tube. Nah, it's never the tube. But at least when I get done, this thing will work on AM again, and then I'll have to sort out the problem with that lower sideband filter. I found a parts rig on eBay. I don't know if it's still there, but at least it probably has a good filter in it. But I'm thinking about going that route. Who knows? So that's all I've got. Enjoyed being with everyone. No round table, George. Julie's holding. Well, no, she went ahead and ate it. But I've got dinner waiting for me downstairs, and it smells like she made a real good meatloaf this time. So I'm gonna go. Once the net's over, I'll go on down and partake of that. So good evening, everyone. It goes to W7LTG. Francesca, when you get done, please turn it to NA7RH. So, W7LTG to take it, KF6SYD.
Okay, thank you, Steve. W7LTG here in Spanish Springs, Nevada, and 25 degrees here, snow on the ground, and starts snowing again here. We have no let up from Christmas. It's constantly snowing here a lot, and I'm getting tired of shoving the driveway to get out and getting stuff on the road where it takes an hour to go 10 miles. That's how bad it is. Ice conditions and cold here. 12 degrees this morning, and just terrible, and it's hard. But I got a job, so Wednesdays and Saturdays, no, actually Wednesdays and Fridays, I belly dance and teach belly dance. So at least I'm doing that. That's why I'm never on Wednesdays. But Monday's my time to stay home, and I don't want to go out in the snow anyway. And my call letters, W7LTG, And my number, 1774. George, I will not be on the round table. I have nothing to swap this year so far, so maybe during the summer I might. But otherwise, I'm on a Johnson Viking Valiant, 150 watts carrier, and it's producing 400 watts peaks. Receiver, I have two receivers going. I got a helicopter, which I believe just got recently here. It's an F-85. Listened to you guys on that, and also switched off to the Collins 75A3. A great receiver. It's been reliable. It's good to hear. It works really well. I really did good repairs on this one, and it looks like brand new. So it's really clean inside and out. It took a while to clean this thing. It's sitting in somebody's garage for 30 years or something. He said it never worked. It was so simple. All it was the rectifier tube was totally burnt out, and replaced it. Started working. So then there was a couple other weak tubes I replaced. But otherwise, whole AT7, I remember, and some bad sockets were really dirty. It was in the garage, and people, when they put it in the garage, it's bad for it. Moisture gets to it and stuff, but there was no rust, so I caught it in time. The cabinet needed to be repainted, so that's been redone and all that. So the 7583, it's a good receiver. It does have it's a 6K filter in there, and a 3KC filter, so they're hard to find, but this one is modified for this 75A3. I could not find the 6KC filter for the 75A3. All right, that's it. I'm Francesca, and 25 degrees here. It's just too cold to go anywhere tonight. Good to hear everybody. Kevin and Steve are booming in here really good. Good signals from there. Oh, by the way, Kevin, I had a 2-foot jumper and one transmitter, 3-foot jumper on another, totally different SWR readings and power, loss of power on the 2-foot. So it makes a big difference having the quarter wave wavelength be perfect. So 36 inches, all my jumpers are 36 inches, all my coax are 50 to 100 feet. So it makes a big difference on that part as well. All right, that's it for Francesca, 73's all. Catch you guys another next Monday in R7HR or H. Take it away from W7LTG.
Okay, there you go, Francesca. I was listening mostly on KFS, but you were coming in a little bit. I could copy you direct, but it was a lot clearer on KFS. Anyway, W6YEC in the gang, NA7RH, Bob here in the Phoenix area, running the old 62.5 Sweet Pig Special, and 8246 in the final. Actually, right now, modulated by 4 1625s and parallel push curve, and the old from the old 1961 through 6400. Anyway, great to hear everyone this evening, and I've been listening for a while and trying to get a few things done ahead of time, but when I noticed in Electric Radio, the feature article, the first article here, is a 6DQ5 Sweet Pig Special, by the way. It's a, I don't know if everyone had noticed that, but it is a grid modulated 6DQ5 Sweet Pig Special with one more tube in the drive chain, in the RF drive chain that I've got in my rig here. So, but the grid modulator is a single 12AX7. So, they're going to put out 25 watts and probably 50 or 60 watts peak. But I think I'm doing a little more than that with this plate modulator. Anyway, nothing to sweat, no round table. Just enjoying listening to the good AM this evening, and don't have a whole lot to report, but busy doing other stuff here. So back to you, George. W6YEC and the group NA7RH.
Okay, Bob, real good. W6YEC. Yeah, I think I saw that article in ER, and not going to have the punch yours has, but that's looks interesting. Of course, that's I do my little biking adventure. I use a screen modulator, and it works. Does the job. And you drive it into an amplifier, and I think you run yours barefoot, and it just always is outstanding the way it sounds. I was just sitting here thinking about Charlie's rig that Chris has now, KI6CSA. I have to light a fire under him, getting back on here. He's been going back and forth to his house there in Lake Havasu, and then also just probably a little cold out in that garage. So maybe as the summer comes on us, maybe he'll get inspired to get out there, and we'll have the other Switch Tube special on here again. All right, guys, it's been fun tonight. Good net. Appreciate everybody being there. And I'll give one last call and see if anybody else is there, and then we'll get the informal going here. For one more time, anybody else that wants to get on the list tonight, come now. 6YEC.
Alpha India 6 Lima Yankee.
All right. AI6LY, it's your turn.
Okay, George, just thought I'd squeak in here for the tail end, and good evening, everybody. John in Scotts Valley, AI6LY. Happened to work late, and you know what that does to the radio schedule. But anyway, AMI number 1773, running the usual stuff on the transmit side, D104 Gonsa Commander 2 into my amp, about 300 watts of carrier into the inverted V, and listening on the SX32 again tonight. Got it all cleaned up. I got to tell you, using 200 proof alcohol on the shellac on the front panel of that thing brought it back just like it was brand new. So it's beautiful. All I got to do is get the IF tuned a little better. Might have to replace the crystal, but otherwise I replaced just about every single capacitor under the hood on that thing. That was certainly kept me out of the bars. Anyway, good to hear everybody. No swap, no round table. Thanks for taking the net as usual. AI6LY, back to net.
K6ZTA.
Oh, look at that. Bond's up and running again. Okay, hold on, Bond. We'll get it to you. John, so good to hear you. It's been quite a while, and sounding very nice. And congratulations on the SX32. I had one for years, and I had to shackle your wings differently, and it was my corner piece receiver, and boy, was it nice. I really, really enjoyed that receiver. I had it for quite a few years, very similar to the SX28. So congratulations on that. Well, John, try to get in here more often. Miss hearing you, so appreciate you coming tonight. And Vaughn, how are you doing? I know you're being challenged there a little bit with some health, and I'm not sure about antenna. I think half the antenna, but you're back up, fully knocking my S meter over to around 20, 25 over. K6ZTA, W6YEC.
Okay. Oh, thank you, George. Yeah, W6YEC, K6ZTA. Yeah, we've had some, we still have some health problems, but we're working through it. We got some good news today, so we're much more, less stress, less concern about what's going on with my health. And yeah, my antenna had blown down, and I got it back up again. And I just installed a new QSK box in my with my amp. I'm not using the amp now, of course. This is just the 100V. I mean the Viking 2 barefoot. But at least the bypass position works properly, bypassing the QSK box. And it's working fine. I haven't fully checked it out yet, but it's an all relay QSK box, so there's no pin diodes to blow up, and I've blown up my share of pin diodes. I'm done with that, so I've got this all relay version, which is seems to be working so far. Well, we haven't tried it on QSK yet, with the amp especially. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, AMI Vaughn's the handle, Victor Oscar November in Woodland Hills. AMI number 1757, Viking 2, and a SX96, and an inverted V now, back where it belongs, with the apex up about 55 feet. So, anyway, thank you for the report, George, and we're just glad to be back, and glad to be back on. I was just suffering here, not suffering. I was struggling, that's the word, with trying to get the cables connected up from behind my desk. The desk is too heavy to move, and it's too close to the wall, so I have to, one of those things where you squeeze the handle and you can pick up trash and stuff. I had to use one of those to get some of the stuff threaded through the maze or the quagmire of coax and other cables in the back. So anyway, that's always a big hassle, is what a mess they are. I wish I had a cable tray and some things done the right way in the beginning, but it's too late now. Like I say, the desk is way too heavy with a bookcase attached to it, everything. So anyway, enough. Thanks, George. W6YEC, K6ZTA.
Okay, Brian, welcome back, and you're sounding terrific. Did you want to stay for the roundtable?
Oh, no. No, I'm going to go and test out this QSK box.
Okay, have fun. Well, we're going to call it a quicks for the evening. It's been good, and a good solid hour, and of course, hour and a half when you consider the earlies and all of that. So, 1956, we'll close this out and call it a success, another AMI successful Monday night. And what I have on the list is Jeff, KK6IRZ, and Skip, K6 LG, was it Skip? Skip, I think I had you on there, K6L. LGL, and if there's anybody else that wants to stay around, just holler out, and we'll get you on the list here. So I'm going to say 73s. We've got a few things to do around here. So I'll give it to you there, Jeff, and you can give it over to Skip if anybody else shows up. KK6IRZ. Take it. W6YEC.